Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Let's start with the question types in English tests. We have, as you can see here on the screen, that we have 8 types. The first thing that we are going to go for is the multiple choice. Second, we have matching questions. Third, cloze or gap filling questions. True-false questions. Sentence rearrangement questions. Error correction. Transformation and open questions. Before getting into each type of these questions and discuss it in more details, let's learn some common verbs and common words that we use in English language tests. Okay, take a look at this table that we have here. You can pause the video and take a printout of this. They are all categorized with Arabic translation, so it would be easy for you to understand. So let's go for the first type that we have here. We have the multiple choices, and I guess that you can easily understand this. So multiple choices, in multiple choices we have words like circle, underline, select, choose, check. So if you see one of these words, okay, so what I mean here that I want you to answer, okay, according to that, using this category, multiple choices. You select an answer of the different answers that we have. Okay? The second type we'll have here is gap filling or cloze questions. Filling gaps, maybe add a word, complete using the word, or maybe more than that. And sometimes you see words like this, hint. Okay, if there's a hint or there's an example, so I'm giving you an example of what I want you to do. So this is not a part of the question exactly, but it's rather something to help you answer well. Okay, so don't get confused. The third type that we have here is the error correction. We have verbs like correct, rewrite, check, okay? And again, don't forget to know words like error, fault, so you understand what's going on in that type of a question. The fourth type we have here is the rearranging sentences. Reorder, rearrange, rewrite, put a word or words in the order. Okay, this is a rearrangement, and this is a very common question in grammar, so you should understand it really well. Okay, and we're going to talk about how to answer it in a little while. True-false questions. We have words like mark, decide if, okay, circle true-false, underline. Okay, and I guess the meaning is clear here. We have matching. We usually use a word match followed by a correspond or correspondent. Okay, and I guess it's very clear. Transformation question. This is another type of a question that usually comes in grammar questions and grammar tests. So here you are asked to change the sentence from one type to another type, from statement to a question, or from question to a statement. Okay, for example, we usually use some words like do as shown in, okay, and I guess the meaning is okay, change into, so we are going to change the sentence or a part of a sentence into negative, for example, or into positive, or into the past if it is simple present, and vice versa. A transform, write, brackets, parentheses, and I guess these words are just for helping you understanding it. And then we have the open questions, and that is quite famous in writing and reading. So here you are going to answer, give whether you go for a short answer or a paragraph or essay writing. Okay, Before we move on, I'd like you to consider these three words. These are keywords, and we need to concentrate on them. They are very easy to understand, but we are going to use them to understand what the question is asking us exactly to do. Okay? Let's start with the first type that we have here, which is multiple questions. In multiple questions, we talked about certain types of verbs like circle, underline, select, choose, check. Okay, and that verb, or one of these verbs, should be followed with one of these expressions like the correct answer, the right answer, or the best answer. Okay, let's have an example. I'm sure you know the meaning. Okay, what is the meaning of EX? Okay, it's example. Now you know it. Circle the right answer. Okay, so it's a multiple question type. Okay, so let's read it now. Let's read the question. What is the capital city of England? Choices: Britain, Paris, London, or China. Okay, I'm sure that the answer is London, and I guess all of you know about it. But how to answer it in a proper way? Unfortunately, a number of students just tick or underline, but this is not the good way of answering. Why? Because I asked you to go and circle. I didn't say underline. So when you answer a question like this, consider the verb. I said circle. That means you do this instead. Okay? So circle the answer. Okay? It is true that you pick the right choice, but again, how you answer will reflect that you understand the question or not. And that is very important in some exams and tests like TOEFL or the IELTS tests. Okay, let's go to the second one. Gap filling or close questions. We have filling gaps, fill in blanks, add, complete, and we usually follow these words or these verbs with the correct or using. And when you see with and using, always look at after these words. Okay, what's written exactly there? Because what's next is what I want you to actually add. Whether it is going to be a pronoun, a verb, a subject, what exactly? Let's have an example to make it clear. Complete the following sentences using what? The past tense. Okay, so we are going to use the past tense form, okay, in these gaps, or in this gap that we have here. Don't use the present progressive. Don't use the future, for example. You read this verb, okay, what we have in parentheses, okay, and write it here. That's it. And what is the tense used? It's past tense. Okay, this is what I want you to know. So who can answer that question? Yesterday my father went to Muscat. Okay, W-E-N-T. Okay, so let's move to another one. Okay, a third type we have here is error correction. And in error correction, we have words like correct, rewrite, check, find the mistakes. And if we're going to check the mistakes, are we going to just circle or underline? Actually, there is usually more than that. I want you to correct the mistakes. So in this question, I ask you two things to do. Number one, underline the mistake, or just circle or check the mistake, and then write the whole sentence without the mistake. That means correct it. Okay, let's have an example. Okay, find the mistakes. Okay, now it's an error correction. In the following sentences and correct them. Every day George and his family goes to the park. Okay, so how to answer this? Number one, circle the correct the mistake here, or the error. Where? Okay, it's goes. I can't say goes. It should be go, not goes, because we have two people here, George, or two or more than one, George and his family. So it should be every day George and his family go to the park. What you do is, after you circle the mistake, you write it down under the sentence here. The whole sentence, not just a part of it. Every day George and his family go to the park. Okay? Let's move on. Okay, there is another type that is quite famous in grammar, which is the rearranging sentences questions. Here we use reorder, rearrange, rewrite, put the words, for example, in the correct order. And here we need to know some important things. We need to consider if the sentences that we have are statements, positive or negative, using not. And in this case, what we do is just look at the end of each item. Does it end with a full stop, a period? Okay, now it's a statement. What if it is a question? You should see this question mark. Okay, let's have an example, and I guess it will make it clear. Take a look at this. Okay, I have here two sentences. I don't know whether they are statements, جملة خبرية, or question, سؤال. Okay, and, didn't, in, live, her, husband, London. Okay, and actually the same words in the second question, but when you answer, I'm sure that the answers will be different. Why? Because we have, in the first item, we have a full stop. That means it's a statement. So we go for subject, verb, complement. So it should be like this. Anne and her husband didn't live in London. Okay, what about the second? Okay, now it's a question. And you should remember that we usually start with the helping verb, we call it secretary, if you remember. Okay, so the answer should be like this. Didn't Anne and her husband live in London? هم مش كانوا عايشين في London? Okay, so the meaning here is different, and the answer or the answers should be different. Okay, let's move on and go to another type, which is true false questions. Mark, TF, decide F, circle, TF, underline, and so on. And I guess it's a very easy question because almost all of you are familiar with this type, so we just carry on here, keep it going. So what we do here as an example, okay, decide if the following sentences are true or false. Canada is located in Europe. Is it true or false? Okay, it's false. Again, so you can circle, and this is the best, or you can underline. Okay, this is how we answer a question like this. The second one is, or the next one here is matching questions. Okay, matching. In matching, we usually have what we call columns. This is a column, this is a column, and this is another column, A and B. So we need to exactly match here. We have here subjects and pronouns in B. So which one goes with which exactly? Which is which? So this is what we would like you to do. We usually have words in a stem like match words or pronouns with correct subjects in column A with the correspondent in column B. And I guess now you know the word, the meaning of the word correspondent. Or with the right word in column B. Okay. So, what do you think the answer is here? Ali and I. Okay, so I'm sure that all of you know that Ali and I is this item matches this item we. Okay, many cars match this. Okay, now how do you write the answer exactly? So don't just do these matching way of just using lines and cross them out, but we go usually for numbering. So next to the items in column A, we write what matches exactly. So here, this is number 1 actually, but number 2 matches it. So Ali and I, okay, matches we, and we here is number 2, and so on. Okay, and I guess it's clear to all of you. Okay. After that, we have the transformation questions. We have verbs like change the following sentences into, do as shown in parentheses, and we need to consider exactly what comes after that. Okay, let's have an example to make it clearer. Okay, change the following sentence into a question. Okay, there is a man waiting outside. Okay, so we are going to do what? Right, we are going to change it into, okay, after into, read this. What comes after into? Into questions. Using not. Okay, now we are going to use not, but we keep the same form. Here, I'm asking about a question to be changed. I mean, a question to write. So we're going to change here the form of this statement into a question type. You need to write the whole sentence, but instead of having this form, just go and use a question. And the proper answer here is there a man waiting outside? And don't forget to use a question mark at the end. Okay. The last type that we have here is the open questions, and I guess that needs another episode, and that will be inshallah next time to continue. Thank you, and I hope that you like it. Don't forget to take a printout of the most common verbs or the most common words that we have in English tests, and see you and good luck inshallah in testing. You can send me any email if you have a question. If you have any comment, just do it. Thank you, and good luck.